Alright guys, welcome. This is Daily May 004. It's Cameron with Rise Media, you guys. I am here with the one and only GRAYWOOD. Super excited to have you, my man. It's definitely been one of the things that we've been planning for a while, but finally got the time to do this, so super excited. Hopefully you guys enjoy the interview, find value in it, and stuff like that. Still going to be doing my normal podcast on Sunday for you guys as well, so be on the lookout for that. But before we get started, you guys, just a quick reminder, we are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, so just super excited to have GRAYWOOD here. Friend Grayson, we've been friends for like almost a year, 2 years now.
I was there about a year.
About a year.
Facebook, right?
Yeah. So, as you guys all know, his name is Grayson. But just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Kind of give the audience a little bit of a taste. Oh, by the way, the music that you guys are going to be hearing in the background, that's just some of his tracks that he's released already, and he's working on more, so super excited, you guys, but go ahead.
Bro, first off, thank you for featuring that in the background. I appreciate that. That's a good look. But where would you like me to begin? Like, how far back do you want me to just give you that full overview? You want me to give you that quick trailer to my life, who GRAYWOOD is?
Yeah, just kind of like what prompted you to start like wanting to do music and all of that.
All right, listen. I hope you're about like ready to listen to this time. Like, this is a
Oh, I
story.
am.
This is a story. Like, I'm not kidding. I could sit here and tell you this story for probably 2 hours if I told you the whole thing. My life has been crazy, but I think the biggest thing with music is that the reason I wanted to do that is I always knew that I wanted to do something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something else. And I'm not beating on people that are, working. I work. You know what I mean? You gotta work. You
Yeah.
gotta work to be able to do what you want to do. But I went through a phase. I remember I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I guess I should probably back up a little bit. The family I grew up in, I'm the fifth born of 10 children.
Damn.
Yeah, you might not have known that either, but I'm the fifth born of 10 children. So we could start with that. Big Catholic family. My dad was in the military. He was deployed a lot growing up. I was homeschooled until 9th grade. So we were raised mainly by our mom for the most part. And then eventually I was finally able to go to high school, and public school was the greatest thing ever because I finally got to be a people.
Did
And
did you guys move a lot because your dad was in the military, or?
fortunately not, actually, which is kind of surprising because you would
Oh
think
wow.
so. You would think so. My dad, I think by the time that I was born, he was reserves,
Oh, okay.
or National Guard, Air National. I think it was Air National Guard, if I'm not mistaken. Um, they did live in Maryland, and then I think my sister, who is 2 kids above me, because I had 4 sisters and 5 brothers. So my sister, who was 2 kids above me, I think she was the first kid that was born in York.
Oh,
In
okay.
Pennsylvania, where I'm at now. So it's kind of a nice split, but it's kind of weird because let me tell you this: I tell people I'm connected in a weird way that I can't explain. When my little brother passed, it seems like everything. I started getting signs all the time. I started seeing stuff that before it happened, like. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm psychic and I can tell you your future,
Oh
but
yeah.
there are some things that are just they're not coincidence.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way I could put it. And like one being my family's from Maryland, and where they were from, the area code was 410, right? And up here, I'm born at 4:10 in the morning, 410. And I'm like, I just found that out too. Like my mom just told me that probably a couple months ago. It was the first time I talked to her a little bit, and I couldn't believe that. I thought that was a little weird, but so that
That
again
is
tells me,
weird.
and with the rap culture down there, it makes me think that it's definitely something that is definitely kind of coincidence.
Hey, yeah, coincidence. Talk about coincidence. So I'll tell you something funny about myself, right? My name has 7 letters in it. My date of birth is all divisible by 7 equally, and the time that I was born was at like 7:07 in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
wild. That's some wild stuff, man. And
Just
maybe
like,
seven's that lucky number.
yeah, which is funny because like I feel like I've always got the worst shit of luck too.
That's how it goes. But that's how it goes before the big pot comes in.
Right? So I'm just like, yeah, I like not a whole lot of people know that either, but I just like that's just kind of like one of those like fun facts about me. But
Well, now everybody knows that.
right,
Now everybody knows that. But I guess what led to the music, to make a long story short, is I went through a lot of different things in my life, is the best way to put it. I was married early, divorced not long after that. It was just one
yeah,
of those things that don't, it was not the right thing. I was people pleasing at the time, and I wish I wouldn't have, but I learned lessons from that. That's one thing I made sure to learn lessons through everything that happened in my lifetime. All the things that people perceive as, oh, this is so terrible, this is gonna hold me back, and I won't be able to be who I'm supposed to be, and I just need to fold and not do anything with myself because this happened.
yeah,
But those are the things I'm like, what can I take from that and use it to my advantage? So, that happened. I did this bodybuilding thing for a little bit. I went real deep with that, got real serious about that. All my friends could vouch with me, and I won't lie, I made a lot of good progress, but it got to the point that truthfully I felt like I was dying. I would have to get like, I'd take walks. I remember with my girlfriend at the time, we'd take walks every night, and I'll tell you, probably walk for like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and I'd have to stop and catch my breath for another like 5 to 10. Because I was
jeez,
so just like I have friends that are twice as big as I was,
yeah,
but I was pretty large compared to what I am now, and what I was before that, because of
yeah,
how much I was eating, how hard I was training, all that stuff. And I guess you could say I didn't take care of myself the way I was supposed to. So health issues, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now since bodybuilding isn't my thing?
yeah,
And then I found entrepreneurship. That was fun, all the network marketing, because I feel like a lot of people start out there as far as entrepreneurship. I feel like it's a good gateway, even though it has
yeah.
its bad, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really good. Like I mean, I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. I've definitely learned a lot, and I love the company that I'm with, and now that I've kind of gained a little bit of knowledge and stuff like that. Like now, if you guys are listening or watching through YouTube, I'm starting my own digital marketing agency now. So it's opened up for a lot of connections and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good gateway to start being an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Cheapest as well to cheapest way to start a business and everything, just kind of get your feet wet.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But
So that's what kind of pulled me in, right? And then got into the social media marketing portion of it. And that's actually when I met you, because that's when I was, growing to Facebook, growing to Instagram, growing
yeah,
to Twitter, growing to this, growing to that. And I had a good time. It was fun. I hate that people still hit me up all the time for it. They're like, "Oh, we love your profile. Our company is expanding." It's the corny ones. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not the ones that do it the right way. But I'm thankful for the industry because it helped me quit my job a few times, and be able to live for a couple months and figure out what Grayson wants to do, what GRAYWOOD wants to do.
yeah,
But once, I really just think I got tired of that. I think I got tired of the culture. There was a lot of people I met who, they were fake. They really pretended they were for you and act like they really want to help you. And it's, there's a big facade with a lot of people. I think the people that don't do it honestly are the people that give it a bad name, obviously. That's what
yeah,
drove me out. And then I got to a point where I literally, man, I'm not kidding. It was probably last summer, and I was thinking, music is one of those things that people, I feel like so many people are like, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, that would be so cool if I could be a famous musician. I'd be so rich. I'd have money. I would,
yeah,
perform for people. It just seems like the dream, right?
right,
Kind of like being like a sports player, an athlete, or something like that. And I've always written, what I mean? Was never very consistent like I am now. Now I'm writing almost a new song every single day, which is kind of awesome. I never pictured myself doing that before because I had a hard time writing, a verse, 6 months ago.
yeah,
And the reason I didn't for so long is I thought, all right, if I want to have a music career, oh my God, I have to write hundreds of songs. So then I'd think, oh, I have to write hundreds of songs in one day. So I guess I just won't do it.
yeah,
It's that fear of
yeah.
overanalyzing.
that pressure as well, like from just like the industry and like what they expect, or kind of that, like you were saying, facade of how you have to be, if you kind of want to make it in the industry now. But now that we've got the internet, we're seeing a shift to where you're uploading to SoundCloud, or you're going to be putting your stuff on Instagram, which is huge. Sharing on YouTube, sharing on Twitter, there, it cuts out that middleman. So now you're only dealing with, the end consumer, which is your audience. And so,
Hmm. Hmm. That makes it a lot easier.
yeah.
But growing up, it was another thing was like, I don't know, man. Like I know how to play guitar for a long time. It was very basic, but now I have a lot of friends that are much better than me. I'm not saying I'm gonna be like John Mayer or whatever. Um, but what was it? 2 years? Actually, no. I think it was about a year ago now. I worked for this company, and the vice president took me out for lunch one day and bought me this guitar, $790 guitar. Picks it right off the
Jeez.
wall. Yeah, he picks it off the wall. He's like, "You like this one?" I start playing it. I'm like, "Yeah, this shit is smooth, bro. Like this thing is nice." He goes, "All right, we'll get it." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'll pay you." He's like, "You deserve it." He's like, "Good people deserve good things." He was like, I think you were dealt some shitty cards." He was like, and just consider it a gift." I'm like, "Okay." So I take this guitar. We get up to the front, and then he goes, "Oh, we're gonna have to get you a case." I'm like, "Bro, just get like a $20 bag for it. I don't care." You know what I mean? He goes, "No, no, 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 no. We gotta get a hard case." So he goes over. He picks a $200 case. I'm like, "Bro, you just spent $1,000 on lunch to buy me a guitar." He's like, "Just do something with it." He was like, "Learn to play it." He's like, and I was like, "I already know how to play." He goes, "Perfect, perfect. Put videos on YouTube. Do something." He's like, "I hear you playing in the auditorium at work." He was like, "You're fucking good." So, but it's one of those things. It's like,
I gotta ask real quick. Do you still have that guitar?
I do, I do,
Nice.
and I will never get rid of it ever.
Heck, I
It
wouldn't,
is.
man.
It's an Alvarez acoustic electric. It's amazing,
Oh
dude.
wow.
It feels so good.
I used to play a little bit of acoustic back when I was in school, but I just kind of lost touch with it and did other things, and so I gave it to a friend that needed it more than I did. So
Man, I feel you. If I'm telling you, if that thing was right behind me and tuned up right now, I'd play you a little something. Eventually, maybe I'll have to hop on a later podcast and do that. But with that being said, I think that portion of my life that like all this stuff was happening, this guy's buying me the guitar. I had a lot of other spiritual experiences through people, which was very odd that we're at the same job.
yeah,
Um, and I think all those little happenings kind of put me in the position where I am now, where I was like, I knew I wanted to do something musically, but what did I want to do? What did I always like the most? I always listened to rap. I always got made fun of for listening to rap because I grew up in like a hick town, to be honest with you. It
yeah,
was like small town USA type crap, but it was like 5 to 10 minutes from the city. So it's like my brothers are hanging out in the towns and everything, and I'm going out to the city and hanging out with my friends out there. So that's
yeah,
one thing that was really weird. I got picked on a lot because they're like, "Oh, you think you're this or you think you're that." I'm like, "No, I just like rap music." I don't know what to tell. You know what I mean? My parents
yeah,
are picking on me. "You think you're a gangster? We'll drop you off in the middle of Baltimore." I was like, "No, I just like rap music. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not, rude. I'm not mean. I just
yeah.
listen to rap music. I don't try to act like anything. I do what you tell me to do.
What?
Listen to shit."
Yeah. What was some of the artists that you would listen to?
Oh man, growing up, and this was what was crazy. Like growing up, I loved old Wiz Khalifa, like 2009, 2008 Wiz Khalifa. He was, he was so cool to me back then. I
Yeah,
listened to a lot of like YouTube artists that I found that never really blew up, but they had quality music.
yeah,
And it was cool when I would meet people who knew who I was talking about when I'd mention them. There's very few people, but there were some people. Um, but I remember my dad, he would always come in my room and freak out with Lil Wayne was playing. Like back in the day, it was like, I'm telling you, this was like to the point that they had like a Millie and Lollipop and like Miss Officer. Like this was the Carter 3 was out.
yeah,
But I was bumping like the Carter 2, like custom music. And what was another Go DJ and The Block is Hot. This is like all his oldest stuff. And
jeez,
I don't know, my dad would always make some comments about something because I think he grew up in an area in Baltimore, I think it was called Arbutus, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about my dad or my mom, to be honest. They never really talked much about themselves. And when I'd ask them, they put this guard up like they can't talk about whatever. And I think that always kept a distance between us. But from what I know, he didn't grow up in a very nice area, and all his friends like pretty much died from like getting killed or drugs, which
Hmm.
to be honest sounds pretty similar to my life, which is not, it is what it is, but I don't know. He just back to on topic.
Yeah.
Because of like rapping, I didn't want to take the next step in because I always thought in the back of my head I was like, my parents, man, my parents, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna think? But then I realized, like, everything else I did without caring what they thought.
Yeah.
I was able to do the entrepreneurship without caring. I was able to bodybuild without caring. And when they said something about it, I was always like, I never really had much of like a strong relationship with them. So it's not even like I really talked to them. You know what I mean? Like my birthday passed beginning of this month. Didn't get a text from my mom or anything. No
Yeah.
app or nothing. We really don't talk like that. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna stop worrying about other people and what they think because they're not living my life. And at the end of the day, who's there? Me, not them.
Yeah.
And I really think the thing that matters the most is being happy. And I know a lot of people that are like, they hit me up saying, oh yeah, you're trying to get that money, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. But like the music thing, and I'm not trying to be those, oh my god, it's not about the money. But because yeah, the money's nice. Come on.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like there's potential. There's potential that I know I can reach, and I know that I was meant to reach. And I've seen too much bad shit. Oh, stuff. I'm sorry. I told you sometimes they slip out. I've seen too much bad stuff. I've been in too many bad positions. There was times I lived in a Planet Fitness / giant food store parking lot for like 3 weeks back in 2017.
Jeez.
Like lived in my car. I was working 15 hours a day to make sure that I was, busy and wouldn't just go be sitting in a parking space. And then I'd shower at Planet Fitness in like the middle of the night and then go to work in the morning at like 7 o'clock. That was rough. And then I was in the city for a little bit, living on Princess and Sherman out here, which is like, Princess is like kind of known as like the bad street, one of the bad street. Like I don't know. I'm not really worried about any of that stuff, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was a bad point in my life, but I feel like it was one of those points of like where everything changes, where you think it can't get worse, but like I sat in my car every night knowing like I would listen to tapes, man. Everyone says it's so corny about the self-help stuff, but like self-help, help others, but first you gotta help self, right?
Yeah.
So my mind was already right, but I wasn't acting like it was right. So every night I kept listening to the same audios over and over and over and over. What can I take from this? What could I take from this? What could I have changed today to make for a better tomorrow? What could I have done today to make, me be a little bit farther what I'm trying to do? And I think that's the stuff that pulled me through. Is I always kept the mindset of the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And when I'm 50, I will still tell people my best years are yet to come, because I think that every day, every tomorrow that I have is better than the day before. Every single time.
And that's how it should always be as well too,
I agree. And I'm sorry, I completely forgot to answer the main point of your question, which was my favorite artist growing up was J. Cole. And I know my mom threatened to kick me out when I was 17 because I was listening to J. Cole when I was working out. And I was like, Mom, but he's rapping about how abortion is bad. I was like, why are you getting so
Oh
mad?
god.
It's bad, Mom. Yeah, anyway.
We're
he was probably my most favorite rapper of all time. If and when, because I know it will happen in time, because I believe him, I will work hard enough to get there. If and when I'm offered record deals, I refuse, and we're gonna save this. This is gonna be on the internet forever. So J. Cole, you will see this one day. What's today?
February 22nd.
2/22, 2/22, 2/22, 2019. J. Cole, listen, sign me, bro. Sign me, bro. I want to sign to Dreamville. I don't want to sign to anyone else ever. But I know I'm like I'm not like, to people watching this, I know I'm not going to get signed. I have 4 songs out right now. Give me some time. I'm saying like in time. Let me release
Patience,
stuff. Let me release
man.
the project I'm
Patience.
working on.
It's
Exactly.
you'll get there. Oh, Dane, dude, that's crazy. So I know that you said that you were from Pennsylvania. Have you been kind of just living there for a bit now, or?
Man, my whole life. If I'm being honest with you, like, and this is gonna sound very submissive, and that's not the way it's supposed to come off as, but I've been stuck here, bro. It's like this is not one of those places that you want to stay. Like, this is not. This city is not like right now I'm not staying near the city. Right now I'm probably like a good 20-30 minutes from the city. I'm out in like, bro, country.
Oh, are you?
You know. But yeah, I kind of had to get away from everything. You know what I mean? The busyness, like stuff was getting wrapped up in, just stupid stuff. And I know I was smarter than what I was doing, and the things I had got caught up in previously. So I had an opportunity to get out, and so I took it. Um,
Yeah.
but this where I'm at right now is not where I want to stay because there's nothing going on. But that's what I need right now, so I can really focus. And that's what
Yeah.
helps me come home from work every day and be able to just go to the studio, because it's right up, upstairs in my house. Like, just go to the studio and I can just start working right now. You know what I mean? Every
Yeah.
single day, and it's easier for me like that. But the whole goal, I think, is just to get out. I want to get out of Pennsylvania. I think living in North Carolina would be awesome. I think living in like Boston would be awesome. Um, and I also want to check out, California, but I know LA has its demons, so I'm not trying
Yeah.
to
Well, hey,
trying to
if
push
you
it.
ever want to come to Utah, I'm definitely we can roommate.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, man! I'll have to come up there at some point.
Yeah. I'll have to.
Doesn't Alex live out near you too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got you, got you, got you.
Yeah. He'd have a blast meeting you too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, man.
I was supposed to go out to South Carolina this past month or so, but I didn't have the time to go to our convention, so I'm gonna be going out to Kansas City, Missouri in July, so that's gonna be pretty fun. Can't wait for that. It's our 10-year anniversary for our company, but
Is that the MLM company?
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Awesome. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to try to get out and travel a little bit more because I went to Orlando not this past November, but the November before, and it was
Okay.
just really nice to get out of Utah and like actually go do something because I'm just like work.
Yeah,
No vacation, work.
and it's tough to pull yourself away, and then you feel guilty when you do sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, I understand. But I like
It's
Florida too. Florida's nice down in Orlando. I remember going there a lot when I was little.
as it was definitely weird because we have like mountains on both sides of the valley here. So like stepping off of the plane and then like looking around and like no mountains, like it's just flat is like it threw me off. It was
Wait
like
a second. So when you're where you're at right now, if you spin in a circle, you see mountains the whole way around you?
yes.
What? I would feel. Oh my God. I would feel so trapped. I would hate that.
It's like the valley is literally a bowl because you have the Wasatch, the Uinta Mountains, and then the South Mountains, and then you have the mountains on the other side. Um, that's just more of a shorter range of mountains. But yeah, it's like literally a bowl of a valley. It's yeah. So yeah, there's mountains.
No,
Uh,
I'm just kidding. I just picture it filling up. That would be scary.
yeah,
That's real life.
it's definitely. I mean, it's nice, but yeah, it's definitely um, beautiful though, for sure.
Something for you real quick.
Sure.
Check out these lights. You ready? They're blue now.
A.
Dude, I got this light. It's green now. Now it's red. Boy, now it's yellow. I got this light off Amazon, bro. It costs like $10. This light bulb with a remote, and you can change. And you can turn the light up, like dim, brighter. Dude, coolest thing I think I've ever purchased. Sorry, that was really random, but I just saw the remote.
Best $10 ever spent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who needs some gas? Like, who needs some food? I need a colored light bulb. Come
Is that what you bought the $50 with? No.
on. I bought 5 of them. And some fucking socks.
That's great. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move forward here. I know that are you kind of like a family-oriented person? Because I know that you said that you're not like really close with your, parents and stuff like that. What about like your brothers and sisters? Are you guys pretty close or?
I would say, yeah. They're obviously with a family that large. There's brothers and sisters, there's siblings that have friction with each other, and maybe don't mesh so well as you do with other people. Kind of like when you go to school or if you go to work, and there's people that you like and people you don't like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's no one in my family that I say, oh, I hate them or I don't like them. as many things as I've been through with a lot of them, I don't hate any of them, you know, because I understand people. I'm very empathetic with people.
Yeah.
Um, I've had friction with some of my sisters, and I think that's about it. My brothers, we all get along really well. And I think after my little brother passed back in 2015, that kind of brought my brothers together even more. Where I think some of the other people in the family maybe created some more distance with them. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see them as much like my youngest brothers. They're still in high school, dude. These kids are the coolest kids. Like they're the coolest kids I know. I'm serious. They are so them, and they were like I see a lot of myself in them, which is very cool. And I think they're both gonna do some crazy stuff when they get older. I'm pumped to see what happens with them. Both gonna go like off in completely separate paths, but they're gonna do something. I'm excited to see it. Um, and then my older brother, like, man, he's like my biggest role model. Like, I just respect the dude, you know? It's hard not to. The way I explain who he is to everybody is he's like, if Tom Brady wasn't a professional football player, he would be my brother. Like, I'm not kidding. Don't look anything alike. But the way they
Yeah.
carry themselves, the way they act, bro. But yeah, they're good people. I'm close with my brothers for sure. Plus, I'm always sending them funny memes. Like, how can you not? I'm a memer. I'm a memer at heart.
Right. Can't go wrong with that.
That's what I'm
Definitely.
saying, man. Like, come on. But I would say, as far as family oriented, yeah, I love kids, man. I can't wait. Like, I'm looking for my wife right now. I'm not trying to waste time on no. That's why I'm ducking. Like I duck any female right now. Like, I can't waste time. It's music for me right now. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like I'm waiting for the right one to come. Looking for my wife now, like long term. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for a family. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe not right this moment, but you know, down the line. You know, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I've always wanted. I want to have that warm, that home that feels like a home. That home that's like you go home, it's like I'm home, not like fuck I'm home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
No,
I don't know. I want to
I
create
feel
that for
you.
the future kids.
Yeah, I want a family eventually. I just I'm just doing a lot trying to, put my life back together and all of this stuff to get where I want to be, and then that's something that I'm wanting to focus on. So we know that your side hustle is your music that you're doing.
At my Pornhub page. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Sorry, everybody, but if you want to check me out, Dragon Slayer 42069.
There you go, guys. Since music's your side hustle, what are you doing for a day job right now?
I actually work at a cell phone repair warehouse. So
Oh, okay.
basically, what I do is I won't say the company's name, but what I do there is I'm what's called a functional inspector. So it's like quality control.
Yeah.
We're like the last line of checking them before they get sent out to consumers. Um, but basically, what I do is all day I'm just plugging these phones up to the computer, running these tests on them, checking if they're good or not. If they're bad, I fill out a slip, fail it. If they're good, I pass them down the line to the next person. And that's pretty much that. It's pretty simple. You know, it's 10-hour shifts, not bad. You're sitting the whole time. Bosses are real cool. And actually, it's crazy how it kind of worked out, because I was supposed to be on a weekend shift there, which no one wants to be, as a temp at that. And I go and interview with this dude. He goes, if I was able to get you on, day shift, as a core employee, you think that you would be interested in that? And I was like, why? I was supposed to be on something way less. Like, why are you trying to? I appreciate it, but what's going on? And he goes, I want to get you in front of more managers here. He's like, because I think we could fast track you and get you in a manager and training program, blah blah blah. Just because of the experience I have prior to.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, man, say no more. Let's do it. And the rest is history. It's been fun though. It's a great place to work, and I never thought I'd say that about anywhere, because I've never had a job that I actually liked. They were all full of fucking. Oh, I'm sorry. Snakes.
No, you're good.
Snakes and rats, aka. Now listen, can I just say it one more time? Can I get the pass?
Sure.
All right, snakes and rats. Fuck you, AT&T. Bunch of fucking pussies. Anyway, bunch of snakes and rats, and then also the other jobs I just had were just like the bosses were idiots. It was like they're just jobs that I could have done the job from the boss that ran the whole place better than they could have done it.
Oh yeah,
I can't
I know
stand
that feeling. it's my biggest pet peeve, like, and that's why I was just like, you know, it's time to go independent because I just like some like to like some capacity of some people, like they don't understand how leadership works. And like, you know, and then you're like in a position where you're like not in a leadership position, and then you want to be in that position, but they're just like they're not ever gonna give you the chance, or you know, give you that leadership position, so you just have to like kind of like really dumb yourself, you know, per se, to, you know, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's no.
You're like, okay, cool. Let me come to work and not be challenged, and then become uninterested, and then you think I'm a lazy employee because his work is uninteresting and boring and not challenging me.
Yeah, like,
That's
don't
like,
get me wrong, like, I love the company that I was with for 3 years. Like, you know, what we did as a, you know, core, you know, value of the company, you know, was to help people that were, you know, creditly challenged, that, you know, couldn't get stuff that, you know, was useful. So, you know, just kind of the whole like mission and basis behind that was really awesome. But, you know, just the job at its core is just, you know, boring. It wasn't challenging. It was just the same repetitive thing over and over again. And you know, I'm kind of glad that my sister moved back her wedding date, because that was one thing that I just kind of had to choose over, was either quit my job or miss out on my sister's wedding. You know, I'm a huge family person, so, you know, I wasn't gonna miss out on that, right?
yeah,
So
hell
it's
yeah.
just like, you know, it's just I think that was kind of just God's way of telling me like it's time, you know, to go independent and, you know, move forward with life. And just that was a, you know, door that was time to close, and then a new one opened. So yeah,
And it's
it's
kind of nice too, like when you switch jobs, like it feels like it does feel like a new start. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It feels like a new start in every area of your life just because you switched a job.
yeah. And like I feel really blessed, because you know that I'm, you know, doing Uber part-time. I've actually been able to increase my income, right? Kind of working more part-time, which is allowing me to do more of my network marketing business, work more on my social media agency, and, you know, spend more time with family and friends. And like it's just, I'm thinking to myself, God, why didn't I do this 3 years ago? when
You
I
always end up kicking yourself, right?
But, you know, there was just, you know, some things that, you know, just had to come to be, you know, in order for that to happen. But kind of getting off sidetrack there. Um, so since you're kind of, you know, doing your music thing and stuff like that, you know, are you kind of wanting to turn this into like a, I'm sure that you want to turn it into like a full-time, you know, business kind of thing, but
Oh
is
yeah.
there like kind of just like anything else like business-wise that you'd want to do while still doing music, or
Hmm. That's actually a really good question because I guess I maybe should have thought about that more. But at the same time, I guess I've been so focused on just making music that I haven't thought about it. But to be honest with you, answering that on the fly right now, I would say that I want music to be my life. It's like I've always told people, oh, I just want to make money and a life and build a life around something I love doing and people that I love being around.
yeah,
And ultimately just build a life around happiness, which, come on, that's what everybody wants anyway. I want music to be my primary source of income. I want, hopefully, I think it would be really cool to eventually get into some type of acting or comedy of some type, because that's one thing. Me and my older brother, like my older brother has this dream to be a comedian, but he holds himself back. He does this whole, oh, I couldn't do it. It's not realistic. But it is. And this dude's hilarious. I'm telling you, he is so funny.
yeah,
And whenever I'm with him, all we're doing is, random voices cracking jokes to each other, just
yeah,
acting like a bunch of children. So I think comedy would be something later down the line. I think being on, like, let's say hypothetically, what Logic has done. Okay, if you're familiar, which I'm sure you are, what Logic has done in his career, plus maybe like clothing or shoes or something of that nature. I'm big into shoes. I like shoes a lot. I'm not a sneakerhead like a lot of my friends are, but like I like shoes.
yeah,
And maybe like show up on SNL a couple times. I'll be happy. Saturday Night Live a couple times. I'll be happy. How
Yeah.
you feeling?
And I think with you doing your music too, and then being close with your brother, I think that with what you're doing, and once since you're making progress and still gonna be making progress, I think that will kind of give him a push as well to
I think so too.
seeing that you're able to do it. He's gonna be like, oh, that this is realistic, and I it's just like it's like just one of those weird things where it's like people won't do it until they actually see somebody else do it. And
Yep.
I've never really understood why people think that way, but it's, and again, it goes back to that fear of, oh, I don't want to fail, I'm worried about what other people are going to think if I start it and then I fail at it. And I had to learn that real quick, with I was just like, I just gotta stop caring what other people think. I gotta do me, and what makes me happy. And if people want to support me, great. If not, I'm not gonna worry about it. But yeah, it's definitely.
And that's the one thing he said a couple months ago. Is he actually shot me a text and we were talking about something. And he just got back from Bosnia not long ago with the military, so I think he just had a brief
Mm.
a brief trip out there. But I forget what we were talking about, but I remember he did say, he was like, I love that you're able to be yourself and not give a fuck what anyone thinks about that. He was like, I envy that because I can't do that. And I was thinking, damn, like I look at you and I think you are doing it,
Yeah.
and then you're telling me you're doing this and I'm not, and I think you're doing all right. Like that's kind of cool. First off, that was like a cool feeling for me. But that, yeah, man, I'm telling you, there's this new comedian that's gotten popular over the last couple months, or maybe the last year, I should say. A lot of people know him. His name's Chris D'Elia. He is hilarious. He is hilarious, and my brother is literally him. I don't know what else to say. My brother is him. Like he's a more clean cut Chris D'Elia. They have the same comedy. It's hilarious. And one day you'll know my brother. One day. But I think that's the thing, is like that's the difference, is he was always the one, like in school I lived in his shadow. He was
Yeah.
always making distinguished honor roll. He was playing, oh, he's the starting, defender on the lacrosse team for varsity. He plays football. He does this and does that. Gets perfect grades. Has pretty girlfriends and I'm like barely making it through school because school just wasn't my thing, because I don't think like those people,
Yeah.
and I wasn't dating people because I didn't care about it. And to be honest with you, I probably couldn't get girls even if I tried back then. Today's a different story, but back then I was a little different back then, you could say.
Yeah.
But then it was like he went to college, I didn't, so I just kind of had to do with these crappy jobs and then being homeless and deal with these girls, and the girls I was getting wrapped up with, like, and the people I was wrapped up with too. It was like, bro, GRAYWOOD is not my name. It should be Gray L Wood, bro. I took more L's than anyone I know, and that's the thing. People probably don't even realize that. People probably think, oh, he's just like, everything in his life was perfect, and now he thinks he's a rapper. And I'm like, and that's not even like I use, oh, I'm tough and and I'm gonna kill people. It's not like I use that as any type of
Yeah.
persona either, because it's the furthest thing from who I am. But have I been through things? Absolutely. Has everybody been through things? Absolutely. Everybody has their story. Everybody has the things that shapes them. And I feel like I was in my life, my timeline, my narrative was that I believe that I was just supposed to be handed a big pile of shit and just supposed to eat it for years. But hey, my dessert's coming now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting that slice of chocolate cake. Fucking hate chocolate cake. Actually, now I'm getting that, that blueberry muffin. I hate blueberry muffin. I'm getting that chocolate chip muffin. There we go. That
There
big
you
glass
go.
of whole milk.
That's what's up.
I'm about that crazy shit.
Nice, nice. So, talking about just kind of, future wise here, what's, what are your kind of future plans, over the next 6 months, year, and 5 years? And, what are you doing right now, to, hit those milestones, that, if you have milestones for, the next 6 months, year, and 5 years, where do you kind of see yourself going with that?
So actually, I haven't planned out years or 5 year, 10 year, 1 year, and I feel like that's just because lately I've been so caught up in creating content. more so, music.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the type of person that, which is a lot of artists nowadays, that grab a mic and then think they're a musician or think they're going to get famous or something. I don't like working on one song, putting it out, and then saying, okay, now I'm going to go work on another one, and then put that out when it's done. I'm going to go work on one more, and then put that out, and like have nothing you're sitting on, you know?
Right,
I
right.
like having things in the barrel, if that makes sense, like something ready at all times. So right now, I probably have, like, I'll have a project that I'm putting together, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as cohesive as I wanted it to be. So I have four songs that are public. Those first three were just kind of like I need to get something out there, and
Yeah.
then February 3rd was actually the single off the project that's to come. Um, we'll get into that at another point. But I had probably about six songs that were done, and I listened to them all, and they're all, in my opinion, they're very quality songs. I think they could easily be released as singles themselves, but for me, it wasn't as cohesive as I had liked. So I think what I'm going to do is save half of them on a hard drive. Um, I linked up with another producer who I met online, and I've met obviously a lot of producers online, because I kind of got out of making beats because, frankly, I'm not good at it, and I'm not going to waste my time getting good right now when I'm trying to rap.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to focus on making beats right now, because I'm focused on telling stories and getting my story put out there. But this kid, I was talking to him, and I'm actually working out some deals and some pricing for a bundle right now for some different beats. This project is going to be very cohesive. I think it's going to make people feel good, which is great, and it's kind of going to give you more of a peek into my life, but as well, kind of making you think more about yours, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that's dude. That like, I was listening to the, because I was working a bit more on my website last night, so I've and I still have your SoundCloud tab open because I just like I don't know, like I dude, I honestly, like, I love your music. I think it's fire, like, and like I'm not like I normally I don't like say that just to like say that, but like genuinely, like, dude, you've got talent. Like, your music is like awesome, and which is kind of funny because you're the February 3rd one. When I was first listening to, I was thinking to myself, damn, this kind of have a little bit of a Logic vibe to it, you know?
I'm not even gonna play, like, I'm not even mad about that. Like, I'm a big fan of Logic, so I think I had to get something from him.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, this is weird, but this has like it. I mean, it's like good, but it's just like has like a Logic vibe to it. Like, it's just like it's different, but it's good. I love this song.
I appreciate
It's great.
that a lot. And that's actually that instrumental is actually a J. Cole instrumental.
Oh really? Oh oh.
Yeah, it's from his album 2014 Forest Hill Drive. I think that came out in like 2012 or 2013. He should have done it in 2014. Come on, like his address, like it was gonna be 2014. Just wait till then.
Right.
Anyway, he didn't want it to be a joke forever. That's fine, J. Cole. I see. But it came off there. The song was actually called January 28th, which is his birthday. And that's one thing that was crazy. I gotta tell you, man. My favorite rappers, my biggest influences, I found out all beside Mac Miller, and he only missed it by like 4 days. They're all Aquarius. They're all Aquarius. That's their astrological sign.
Jeez, that's
And I'm,
crazy.
I know, and I'm an Aquarius, bro. So I was like, maybe that's why I like them so much. I never realized it. Like, maybe it's because people flock to people they're like, and these people are, maybe deep down, they're just like me. You know?
Yeah.
And that's another thing where I was like, maybe I could do this. Why not? And then I thought about it. I was like, I was listening to a J. Cole song, and it said, the only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin. And that's when I was like, done. I'm gonna rap.
Yeah.
Mama, I'm gonna rap.
Regrets. Yeah, it's because you don't want to be like 50, 60, 70 years old and being like, I wish, like I don't want to, like, I don't want to do that. Like, my parents, they love what they do, but they haven't been able to do a lot of what they've wanted to do because they they just kind of want to stick to their average lifestyle. I mean, like, it works for them, they're happy and, whatnot, but it's just like, just, I don't really, I don't know, like, I can't live like that. Like, it's just like, which is weird because I'm the only person in my family that's an entrepreneur, right? My dad's been at the same job for almost 30 years. My mom, has just kind of been in corporate side for accounting, pretty much her entire life. And, my sister, she's now kind of in the financial, mortgage side, corporate side, just kind of like my mom. And here I am, just like,
Yeah, doing your thing, but I respect that.
so it's definitely, weird for my family. Some of the conversations that we have, it's sometimes can be a little bit awkward because it's like they're not like used to that kind of, so it's just kind of like weird how that happened. But it's,
You don't relate as much as you kind of wish you did.
yeah.
That's what it sounds like, and that's kind of like how it was for me too, with like a lot of my brothers and sisters and my parents. Like, there, people, I think people get along and everything based on their level of understanding of each other. And I
Right.
think that's another reason why me and my parents maybe aren't as close as we'd like to be. I think my dad, he's just been through a lot of stuff, and he's just wants to be alone. Um,
Yeah.
and my mom, she's just, I'll save it. I'll blame my mom. But I just never understood them. I never understood why they do the things they do. I understand my dad, and I love him to death. I understand, and I see that he was always the good guy. When he was made to be the bad guy, basically.
Yeah.
But like my mother, I never understood her. I never understood anything about her. I didn't understand what made her act the way she acted, the way she felt about people, or the felt about me, the way, you know what I mean. Nothing ever made sense. Nothing was ever logical. It was stuff that made you feel like you're crazy because you're trying to make sense of it. It doesn't ever make sense.
Yeah.
But I kind of I get where you're coming from, man, because that's the same thing. My parents, like, back when I was going through my, I don't want to call it an entrepreneur phase, but my introduction to entrepreneurship, I remember my parents, there was a lot of that, play it safe. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
Get a career, you know what I mean? Just is the typical objective.
Go to school, go to college, and like now that I've like my parents have actually like seen me have success in what I'm actually doing, like they've kind of like they've changed their like outlook, I guess you could say. Like they're like, oh, they're not like go to college, go to college, go to college anymore. Like, they're just kind of like, how's life been? Glad you're doing well, and stuff like that. So it's they've kind of, and I mean, they support me in what I do, and I'm really thankful. At first it wasn't that much support, but now that I've actually, finally quit my full-time job, to do this stuff more full-time, they know that I'm like serious about it, and they're a little bit more, supportive now.
And that's
But
good. I think that's one of the biggest things is they just got to see full commitment, you know.
yeah.
Because it was kind of the same thing with my parents. Like, they didn't believe what I was doing. Like, I was doing this Bitcoin investment company, building it up. It was called USI Tech. This was last year. And I remember man, I was building it up all of December. I remember my job fired me the day after Christmas. It was the 26th.
Oh,
And I
jeez.
was like, yeah, I was driving to work, and this dude called me. Oh, yeah, we gotta let you go. Da, da, da. He said we had to lay a lot of people off because the laws changed. I was a truck broker at the time, so the people who deliver food for Walmart, Cisco Foods, I was basically selling their loads for thousands of dollars to different truckers and trying to keep a percentage margin to like keep profit, and I would get commission based off that plus an hour.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. So I was getting paid pretty well, but bro, this MLM was like, I would wake up different like days and have ridiculous money sitting in my account. Like, I remember one night I went to bed, and I was at my parents at the time. When I started doing this, I was at my parents. I was with them for 2 months, and I moved out. And I remember waking up one morning, and I checked my account to see if I had any money in it, because like my bank account, bro, I was broke. Like, I needed gas. I was broke. I was
Yeah.
like, counting pennies. I was broke. My dad's like, "Hey, if you wouldn't waste all that money doing that, business stuff you say you're doing." I opened this account. I'm like, bro, I got $1,300. I made $1,300 overnight. I looked at my dad. I was like, I wanted to be like, "F you," but I didn't. I was showed him. I was like, bro, I got $1,300. He was like, it just says it's $1,300. It's not really $1,300. I was like, oh, it's not. Let me transfer it to my debit card. So I transferred to my Bitcoin debit card. I go down to the gas station down the street, well, I could only pull 300 out at the time because of, ATM limits. And I go back up. I'm like, Dad, this shit is real. It's real. And I remember, bro, 2 days later, I made like another $980 some. A couple days after that, it was like 7 something. A couple days after that, it was like another 12. And money's just coming in. And then this job fires me. I'm like, man, I don't even need this job, man. So every 2 days, I had probably at least $500 coming in.
Yeah.
So, I was making some bread, but then the company, typical MLM stuff, this was like not a good MLM. This was one of those come and go type ones.
Yeah.
And, I racked it off them though, man. I made some money. I'm happy with that, man. I won't complain. While I was there, I took advantage, but that was my last one. But that helped my parents see that, yeah, you can do something else than go working in a fucking warehouse. Like,
Yeah.
crazy, so that's all that's around here. If I'm being real with you, if you go to college, you can go work in a temp agency here and get people jobs and make $30,000-$40,000 a year. If you work, sorry, my cord's getting tangled up. If you don't go to college, you're gonna work at a warehouse, and that's pretty much it. You're gonna work at a warehouse, a car lot, or a cell phone store, and that's gonna be that's your professional career.
It's
fun.
It's sad to see, cause like I've got friends that are like going to college and then they try to find a job, they can't find anything. Especially like here in Utah too. Like this state's economy is like booming right now, and stuff like that. It's just like they have trouble finding stuff, and then they've got to pay back student loans, and then they're not bringing in enough income to make for like living expenses and stuff like that. It's crazy. I'm just like, oh, I don't want any part of that. It works for some people, but not me. I'm already in debt. I'll keep what I have and work towards.
And let me tell you what, I am full agreement with you. I remember my brother told me, he said, man, you're so lucky you didn't go to college. Because he went to college, but then he went in the Air Force Reserves, right? He got a job at a hospital down in Towson, Maryland. He's living down there now, doing his thing. Like, he's living in a good area. He's got an awesome girl. Like, I'm super happy for him. Like, his life came together. But he's telling me, man, you're so lucky you didn't go to college. Like, what are you talking about? I was broke. I was living out in my car. I was working these terrible, like, warehouse jobs, like 15-hour shifts, bro. I was making $12 an hour. Like, what are you? I'm lucky. You have to live off these loans and go have fun and party, meet girls, and I was doing all this other stuff. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, man, it was the biggest waste of time, the biggest waste of money in my life. He's like, I'm not even doing anything with that degree. He's like, I'm doing something, he's working a job that he got through the Air Force. Like, he did his training, went to a civilian job now, and then does his reserve stuff on the side. He's like, I don't even use that degree. He was like, it was a waste of time, waste of money. Now I'm paying thousands of dollars a month. And it's kind of one of those feelings of, all right, so I was right after all. I'm not. But no, listen, man, I understand.
Awesome. So we know, like, doing music's your kind of like big end goal, big life dream. Kind of moving on here. Kind of getting a little bit into more of the business side again. Who would you kind of like consider your top 3 people that you would consider a mentor right now?
Would you say a mentor is in someone that I actively speak with and stuff, or do you mean like more so?
Just kind of like someone that you kind of like look up to as a role model, or someone that you speak with, or anybody of that nature.
Look up to as a role model, I would say J. Cole, absolutely. Always have, always will. His music has changed my brain totally, and he's like one of the big reasons I'm doing music. Logic, again, if it weren't for Logic, if Logic never came out, you know what I mean? And like Logic, he grew up an hour from me, which is crazy to think about. Everything he raps about happened an hour from me. It's I don't know, man. It's just kind of wild, but I don't know. Just seeing that he could do it.
Wait, real quick. I'm just curious. How old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25.
25? Oh, okay. Because he's like, I think he's like 28 or 29.
Yeah, something.
So it's like, who knows? Maybe you guys.
We know each other, maybe. I met him.
Would have been wild.
Yeah, man. But so definitely Logic, and then Man, and then as far as mentors, if I'm being honest with you, man, the person that probably changed my mind the most, the absolute most. This one's tough because there's a lot of authors and a lot of books I like, but I don't know much about. Tony Robbins. I would say Tony Robbins, J. Cole, and Logic. Those are probably my top three. And if it weren't for them, but there's other ones too. Like I don't. That one's so hard to answer. Like I feel like Mac Miller has to be in there too. I mean, Kid Cudi has to be in there too. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be a top five, man. It has to. Because these
There you go,
people,
top five.
but they're all equal. But they're all like number one to me. Like I have five number ones. I don't have a number two, three, four, five. I just have five
Yeah.
number ones. You know. And I just think that those people, their music, the way it spoke to me, and that's kind of what I want. That's my end goal. Is I want my music to speak to people long term, telling stories and just make people think. You know, because I think that people, I get tired of this turn up, shake your ass music. You know, not saying it's not fun. You know,
Yeah.
keep doing your thing, Drake. But anyway, I'm like real music. I'd like real music to come back. I'm not saying it's gone anywhere, but it's definitely dwindling, and I think that the industry and just like playlists of everything is just flooded with garbage nowadays.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, I think that's gonna, you know, steadily change, especially, you know that we have the internet, you know, new artists, you know, like yourself, you know, being able to, you know, put out, you know, music that actually matters, you know, something that someone can relate to. You know, that's definitely gonna go way more distance than, you know, someone rapping about, you know, ass and titties and you know, and
And
so
leaning in my
it's
cup and taking Xanax, like yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's
And that's what I think. Like I remember hearing the first J. Cole mixtape I heard was The Warm Up, which I think was one of his first, if not his first, that he put out. No, I think it was his second. Anyway, I remember I was in Spanish class and this kid goes, "Yo, did you hear that J. Cole?" I was like, "J. Cole? Who's J. Cole?" Like, I listen to a lot of Wiz Khalifa. You know what I mean? He's like, J. Cole, that J. Cole. I was like, okay. So I started listening to this. And I felt, growing up, I felt like I had a lot of people around me, but I felt very alone, if that makes sense. Like, I had my little brother who we would bullshit for hours just in our room laying down, just talking about the craziest stuff, prank calling radio station DJs, like, because we're bored. Just doing stupid stuff, man. It was so much fun. But I have a lot of good memories from that. But I always felt very alone, so that's why I feel like, and not like, you know, oh my god, I'm so alone and depressed, but like I just didn't feel like I was around people that cared, like to be honest with you. So I feel like I bonded with these artists without them ever realizing, but like I bonded with them and I felt them and I felt like they understood me and I understood them from what they were saying.
yeah.
And I don't know, man. I want people to kind of find that same kind of comfort in my music. And I know, like, obviously with the stuff I put out, me just rapping fast and shit, it's not like people aren't gonna be like, oh my god, I bond with that fast rap. Like, I don't expect that. But give it time because I have I have so many ideas. Like I have so many ideas. Like, bro, I used to not be able to write a song because I'd have so many ideas for a verse that I'd erase it and then rewrite it. And like, no, I want to do this one. No, I want to do this one. And then I realized you can just turn all of these into songs. You can
Yeah.
just make all of them. Like you don't have to pick one. Pick all of them. You know. So long term, there's a lot of evolution to come with my music. Kind of like how Kid Cudi had very revolutionary music. I'm not gonna make like, you know, weed rap or some shit like he did or like Wiz Khalifa does. You know, but
Yeah.
not speaking down on it at all. Because I do enjoy that music. I used to listen to a shitload of Wiz Khalifa. Like, come on. But I don't know, man. I just want people to find comfort in my stuff. It's gonna have a lot of maybe long term incorporate some guitar, not like Post Malone does, but maybe like Post Malone does. I don't know. We'll see.
You gonna be a sunflower?
I might have to be a sunflower. Unless I stuck by you. That was miserable. I should have drank some water before I did that. I'm sorry to all you listeners out there that you had to listen to that. I promise you I'll put some effects on the next time. Oh man.
It's awesome. Moving on. So what's your, or actually, have you ever wanted to like do your own podcast or start your own podcast?
Actually, yeah, I kind of did before. Last, it was last year. It's probably early last year, I would say. I was getting real into like again the entrepreneurship thing. Like it started becoming a big thing to me. So, I knew that YouTube and Instagram business pages, and a Facebook page, with properly placed ads and all this other stuff, um, could be very effective. And a podcast was another thing. I was like, you know what, I might need to get into that. But then I thought, oh, I gotta buy a microphone and all that stuff, And then 6 months later, I buy this whole studio setup, and and here we are. So I mean, funny how things come full circle, though.
Yeah. No, for sure. What's your preferred medium of social media outreach that you like using?
1000% Instagram. I used to have Twitter. I met a lot of good people on Twitter back in my bodybuilding days. That was one of those I felt like I was part of a community. Like I grew very strong friendships with people I never met on Twitter.
Yeah.
This was very cool for me. It was a very cool experience. But Instagram, man, to be honest with you, like when I was bodybuilding, I used to get like free supplements and free like gym gear and free bags and stuff from these companies and everything, which is super cool. I feel like that's the marketplace right now. I feel like that's where it's. Let me readjust this damn mic. There we go. But I feel like that's where everything's going on. You know what I mean? Not that Facebook isn't popping, but Facebook isn't popping like it used to.
Yeah.
I think it's still really good for network marketing. I think it's still primary for network marketing. But I guess the way I use social media, Instagram just makes more sense. Big fan of Snapchat. Always will be. Everyone will be. It was the originator. Come on. Twitter. I feel like, I don't know. I think Twitter died, but it didn't die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use it a whole lot. I think it's on the comeback, though. Like, I think give it, like, another, 6, 12, 18 months. I think we'll see, like, an influx of, people, starting to use it again. Because Instagram's organic reach has gone down quite drastically from what I've heard. And it's definitely, been trying to want to keep that organic reach there, because that's how you're going to be able to distribute your content, and whatever it is that you're doing is you want fresh eyes to see content and stuff like that, because that's how you're gonna be able to grow. What was that?
I said you got a point there.
Yo,
Very true.
yeah.
Very true.
So so I know that you kind of talked a little bit about in your kind of story of how you came doing music and stuff like that, of some of the trials that you kind of had to go through, like living in your car for 3 weeks and stuff like that. Was there, like, at any point kind of during all of this time that you were like, maybe music just isn't for me, like, fuck it, like, I'm maybe gonna just do something else?
With being the fact that I wasn't doing music actively at that time, I would say no. Music just really started becoming, like, basically how this all came about was last year nearing the end of the summer. I bought FL Studio 20. It was on my computer. Or actually, I bought that in May. It was on my computer for 5 months, and I didn't do anything with it. Because this is production software. They have all the instruments, man. Like, I don't have to do anything. I just gotta press some keys.
Yeah.
I thought. And then I pull it up, and I was like, holy God, how to use this? Like, where's everything? Like, I press one button, the whole, like, program explodes. I'm like, what's going on? I can't do this. I don't know what's happening. Because I'm normally very, 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 very technologically inclined, mechanically inclined, all that stuff. But if I looked at this program, and I thought I was crazy. I thought I was having a stroke the way this program looked. And I was like, hold on, am I seeing something different that what everyone else would see? Because I feel like it should just be a piano. And it looks like I'm driving a spaceship. So let that sit on my computer for 5 months, man. It was about October. And then I was like, you know what? One day I was playing a game of Fortnite. And then I got up, I was in my apartment, I was like, this is done now. So
I think I remember that snap you posted. You're like, done selling my Xbox, and pursuing music, and yeah, I remember that.
I'm glad that you remember that, actually. That's kind of awesome. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, that was exactly it. I remember taking that snap. I circled the Xbox. I circled the TV. I was like, selling these bitches for this much money. Let me know if you want it. It's gone today. You know, so I posted that stuff on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist. I don't have a Facebook anymore, but on Craigslist I posted on too. And actually had a buddy buy it from me. I sold him the TV and the Xbox, I think for like $300 or $400. I think I was selling it for 500, but they were like, oh, you know, he's like, I want it for my wife so we can play Fortnite together. I was like, I fuck with you guys, and that's awesome. That's like some real couple shit. So let's do it. Let's make it. I'll give you a discount.
Sold.
Exactly. So I went down, got that from him, and took him the TV and everything. And then I drove out to Guitar Center out in a city called Lancaster out here, which is probably about like from where I was at. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour from there.
Yeah.
That's when I dropped it off. So I go up to Lancaster. I'm like, you guys have any MIDI keyboards? They're like, what do you mean? So it's like the keyboards you plug in, you can mess around with on all the instruments. So you don't have your keyboard on your computer. So I bought one of those, got the microphone and everything, my audio interface, all these stands and cool stuff, whatever. Which I actually need to upgrade soon because, again, we spoke about this. This is like it's not a baby mic, but it's a beginner mic, and I feel like I need something more at this point. But
I'll sell you my Yeti and ship it to you.
I'll tradesies. No, so I get home, and now that's when I decided, all right, we're doing this. There's just no excuses. Like, you've waited too long. You owe this to yourself.
Yeah.
Grayson, if you're gonna do something for yourself, you're gonna follow what you want to do. So since then, I learned to start making beats and stuff, but they all sucked. So I was like, I'll just start writing, and it turned out to be pretty good. And since then, I'll be honest with you, I've had a lot of days where I doubted myself, a lot in the beginning, and even still at this point, I feel like I can sit down and within 30 minutes, I can write you a fucking amazing verse. I like a feature-worthy verse in 30 minutes guaranteed. I can write you a shitty verse in 5 minutes if you want to hear a shitty verse. But I feel like I can produce these things pretty effortlessly at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't need to improve, because obviously I'm trying to improve everything. That's why I don't like releasing stuff, because I like waiting on it to think, is something better going to pop in my head?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man, since then, I can't really say I've doubted myself. If anything, I feel like with every song I release, with every song I make, I'm more and more confident that this is going to work. The way I've impressed myself, and this is one thing that, like, I'm very close with one of my older sisters. She has been there for me in every situation that's ever been bad, man. Like, I'm gonna get, like, I swear to God, like, one day I'm gonna give her $1 million. Like, it's just gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna take care of her. Like, she is awesome. But shit, where was I even going with that? Damn, I got caught off track with all that love for a second, bro. Started thinking. Can you give me like a refresher where I was even at? I feel bad for dropping that train of thought, bro.
Just we were kind of talking about the trials and stuff like that with everything. Just kind of.
You're getting confident and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting back to where I am. So I was talking to her the other day, my sister, who is awesome, and let me get lost in this train of love again. So I was talking to my sister, right? And I was just kind of explaining to her, like, because I made this new song, I said, oh, I think it's better than any other song I've made. She goes, Grayson, every single time you finish a song, you tell me, this is the best one yet. This is the best one yet. This one's better than the last. And then I realized it's because I listen to every single song. I'm like, I can do better than that. I can do better than that. And so every single song, I'm like, I want to get better every single song. But that's why another reason that some of these songs I made for this project, I don't even want them to put on the project because they're good. But I'm like, man, I'm already better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. But I feel like, again, like I have a very hard time doubting myself because I believe in myself. I believe that if you doubt yourself, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it can become a big ball of bullshit that just eats at you. So, like, I'm not saying I don't have moments of doubt, but I don't let it get to me. I let it happen. I feel it. I'm done with it. And then I move on. And if I'm doubting myself, I'll go read some shit that I wrote. And I'm like, what was I even doing? That shit was hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a normal person. I'm a human, so yes, I've absolutely doubted. And there has been many times that I've laid in my bed at night and I think, is this even realistic? Like, is what I'm really striving for real? But then I think, is anything fucking real, bro? Yeah, let's do it. There's no
We're all in a simulation.
Exactly, man. It's Alice in Wonderland. We're just down the rabbit hole. That's all it is.
Oh, jeez, that's crazy. Moving on here, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to your past self starting out?
Man, man, I've always said, Cameron, I've always said that I wanted to be the person that I needed when I was growing up. And everybody always kind of looked at me sideways. What does that mean, dude? A mentor, motherfucker. Like, what do you think? So anyway, piece of information I would have given to myself. First, I need to think of the time frame. I would have given myself information and advice and some wisdom when I was 15, when I was 9 years old, when I was 15 years old, when I was 20 years old, and then probably when I turned 24. With 9 and 15, it was really just more so, it'd probably be more of like, kind of just like advice and like encouragement of like, get through it, man. Get through it. One day you'll be by yourself. One day you'll be able to do what you want to do. You know?
Right.
I think, and there's some deeper stuff, but it's more personal. I don't really want to get into, at least not right now. When I was 20, that was when, actually I might have been 21 at that time. Yeah, I was 21 by then. So actually be 21 and 24. When I was 21, the month after I turned 21, that's when my little brother passed. So I think I went through a lot of unnecessary emotions because of that, and grief.
Yeah.
A lot of grieving that, you know, obviously has to be done. But I think I did a lot of blaming, because the night before he passed, he called me, but I was sick. He called me almost every night, but I was sick and like super sick. And my ex-wife was bringing medicine home, you know, after she got off work, and I thought it was her calling me, you know, about what kind of medicine I wanted or something, even though I already sent her a text.
Yeah.
And I heard the phone ring on the coffee table, right? And I picked it up to see who it was. I'm like, oh, it's my little brother. I was like, man, I'll be honest, I don't even think I could talk on the phone. Like, I was feeling nauseous and dizzy. Like, it was like that. So I laid the
Yeah.
phone back down, and I got a call from my dad the next morning saying, you know, your little brother passed. And I was like,
Oh.
bro, I blamed myself for so long. But it was like, I did as much as I could all this time. That it was just a matter of time before I missed a phone call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's it. So I think I would have given myself a lot of advice to not turn into. I turned into a very hateful person. I turned into a very, I wouldn't say selfish, because I feel like I always had a good moral compass, for the most part. But I did some things. I did a lot of things that the Grayson from 2015 and 2016 should have never happened. I acted out of character a lot, and I think it was just my way of like, I don't know, man, trying to like figure my own self out while I was going through those emotions. And then last year was, you know, the 24th birthday, and that advice was really, because that was what, by the time that I was living by myself, I was in my own apartment doing my own thing. So I'm with myself the whole time. And old Grayson, my mind would have eaten me alive and then dead. Probably would have been some bad shit. But I was just like, already had experienced so much personal development. I was already big into books and audio tapes and stuff that I was just able to really change how I thought. And I think, I think the biggest thing I could have told myself last year is just that, again, just kind of encouragement, like, this is gonna pass, but this is like you have to have these moments where you're alone. You have to.
Yeah.
And when you are alone, you need to take advantage of that time alone, because you might never get it again. And when you are alone, those are the times when you're supposed to be alone, so that you can level up your own mindset and your own being, because maybe you're not where you're supposed to be. That's what I feel. I feel like when you're in your life, you're put to be alone, it's for a reason. It's because you're behind in your.
Yeah, that's, I would definitely agree with that 100% for sure.
Yeah, that's my advice anyway. That was a great question too. I never thought about that one. Glad I had an answer for it though.
Yeah, definitely. So to kind of finally wrap things up, because I think we're a little bit probably over an hour now. It's just like crazy. So to finally kind of, what was that?
Do you want to talk all day?
Oh, hey, we'll turn it into a 14-hour podcast. Huh?
Just make it a live one on YouTube. People just pop in and pop out.
Right. I like, to be honest, like I eventually kind of want to do that at some point. It's just kind of like once I get like an audience and stuff like that, like I want to kind of do what Gary Vee does, is like do a Facebook Live and like an Instagram Live or a YouTube Live kind of thing, and you know, have people, you know, pop in and pop out. I just think that'd be pretty cool. So to kind of finally wrap things up here, what aspect of yourself do you want to keep in your future endeavor?
What aspect of could you reword that, or could you, I guess, explain that one better to me? I
So,
just didn't understand the question as well.
um, like, like what piece of yourself, without changing anything, the way that you are now, that you would want to keep, because over time people change and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like what part of yourself would you want to keep the same and not change, going forward in the future with, your music and, you know, if you, decide to do anything else.
I actually have my answer prepared. I never thought that I would be asked that either. I've never done an interview, so this is different for me. This is new. So first off, I appreciate you working with me. But I'm gonna give you an answer that answers the question, but also kind of like completely negates the question, if that makes sense. So the one thing would be authenticity. So with that, I want to keep the authenticity. So that's almost like saying in the future I never want to even change. You know what I mean? Because I want to be real. Because I want to be
Yeah.
me. And I think that's my thing. I think there's decisions that I'll have to make that I don't want to make sometimes, business related and all. But I
Right.
feel like the person I am right now, I feel like obviously I'm going to continue growing as a person and getting better in all areas. But I think the person I am right now is the person who is going to be. You know what I mean? They say that as a male, your mind stops, your brain literally stops physically growing at age 25. And that's why I think it's kind of cool, because I noticed over the last year, everything, all the questions I had, the confusion about my whole life, it's like everything came full circle and makes sense now. And it's like, it's weird. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning, I'm like, I'm 25 now. Now that's
Yeah.
weird how it all makes sense.
Yeah, I turned
But
24 in July, and I'm just like, what?
man, be prepared. Be prepared. Trust me. Once you're 25, it's like 25 is not scary anymore, because you're like, oh, I'm already here. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the
Yeah.
whole getting old thing. But I really just want to stay myself, and I don't think I'm going to change. I think I'm comfortable in who I am. I think I know who I am, and I think that's the difference between me and a lot of people. So I think a lot of people don't know who they are deep down. I think they are told who they are and they run with it.
Right. They don't really take any time for like self development or, that time for self awareness, which, I is hugely important, just because that's really going to allow you to be put yourself on a path to actually do what makes you happy, is having self-awareness to get where you want to be, because then you actually know who you are and then what you want to do,
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
whatever it is.
Man, you're so right. And then that's my thing is I feel like I'm at the point like I know myself to a point that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I firmly believe it was music, because I don't think that I would be able to write like I write, and I'm not trying to like say, "Oh, I'm so amazing. I am J. Cole." Like, I know my writing is not even, where it could be or where it will be in time, but I think comparing my stuff, like I would get like very discouraged listening to Logic, because I'd be like, "Man, I wish I could rhyme like him. Like, that's crazy." You know what I mean? But then I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna listen to his oldest music. I'm gonna listen to like his oldest mixtapes and see what he sounded like in his first couple songs." And I heard some of them, and I was like, "Man, this shit's trash." So it's like, okay, I can definitely do this. Like, my first couple songs are definitely gonna be better than his. So that's the thing. Like, I released a couple of songs, and like, I don't know if they're better than his or not. I don't want to say like they're better than, like, it's Logic. You know what I mean?
Guys, he's calling out Logic. Logic.
No,
Where you
definitely
at?
not. Don't no rap
No.
battle, no beef, all love, all love. But it was
Definitely
one of
all
those things
love.
that I think that's how I gained some encouragement, was just listening to some of their old music too. But
Yeah.
kind of funny to think about now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was like kind of funny, because your single that you put out was just like, man, feels like it's got a Logic vibe to it. It's just, really good.
Man, I respect that too, considering he's like one of my favorite artists. I think his just rap skill is very impressive, And
Yeah.
I like fast flows. I think I was made for fast flows.
Yeah, I'm like, the one thing that I am disappointed about though, with his music, I kind of know it's off topic with his music, is I can't find any of his like old stuff, like his like mixtape stuff on like iTunes and stuff like that. Like it, it's just like it's disappointing because like I love that old stuff like Walk On By, Nasty, As I Am, and all of those other ones. But yeah, it's I wish that he would kind of do like a side album or whatever of like his like older stuff and re-release it again. That'd be
That'd be
pretty
cool.
dope.
Yeah, I have this like mixtape app I use to listen to his old stuff, which is like good enough because like it's just like another app. I can just pop up his stuff, but like,
Yeah,
yeah, I wish it was on Spotify. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean it's on YouTube, so I mean there's that. Yeah, always.
Yeah, exactly. Or medium, either way.
Well, my man, I believe this is definitely gonna be over an hour. So for all of you guys that are watching on YouTube, again, uh, my friend Grayson here doing music. You guys should definitely go check out his SoundCloud. Definitely gonna be, hopefully we can, it's kind of funny because I do the digital marketing agency. So, guys, who knows, maybe down the road we'll work something out and, we can work together and, you know, building social media and stuff like that.
It might happen. You watch out, people.
Um,
Watch out. Be ready.
But you guys go check out his SoundCloud. It's GRAYWOOD 2XXX. You guys, awesome stuff. He's already got 4 songs on there. Just really awesome. There you go. And so, for you guys again that are watching on YouTube, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, if you guys want to reach out to him, what's your social media, man?
My Instagram is GRAYWOOD_2XX. It wouldn't let me put 3 X's for some reason, but it's GRAYWOOD_2XX. And then I think on there, I gotta put my Snapchat link in there, but I'll be honest, I really don't use Snapchat like that. Just hit me up on Instagram.
There you go.
GRAYWOOD_2XX. Album on the way.
Super excited, you guys. But anyways, for you guys that are listening on the podcast, definitely got other interviews lined up here for content. Definitely want to do more of these. Just super excited to see our friend Grayson here keep growing and release new music. Always exciting. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this interview and found value in it. Hopefully there's something that you guys can relate to. Grayson, any last words, anything that you want to end with or add?
Yeah, definitely. So, real quick, with you saying hopefully there was something that they could relate to on this podcast. If there is not, maybe you can relate to that GRAYWOOD music. So go ahead and go hit that SoundCloud up.
Yeah, definitely.
Go hit that SoundCloud.com/GRAYWOOD2XXX.
Well, guys.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm messing you up right now.
Oh no, you're good.
Video announcer right
now. I was just gonna end the podcast, but
DJ D-Rick. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for having me. Okay, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for being a goofball, but
oh no, it's quite okay. Hey, this is what we live for, man. This is what we live for. But again, you guys, super excited to see what he's got planned for the future. Definitely go check out his SoundCloud. Go follow him on Instagram. You guys will not regret it, I promise you. This dude is real, 100% real and authentic. But you guys, this has been Cameron from Rise Media, Daily May 004, and our friend Grayson here. And we'll catch you guys later.